Well, our friend Molly Haynes she's going to be busy. She's the PA voice for the Lady Buckeyes, and she is going to be the voice you hear when you go to Valley City Arena and you go to the women's tournament. She's going to be three-pointer Buckeyes or Buckeyes win. Molly joins us now. Hi, Molly.
Hello, Molly. Welcome back.
Hi, guys. How are you this morning? The day after St. Patrick's Day. Yikes. I didn't realize that when I said I'd join you this morning. No, it wasn't too bad. But
Hey, were you with the Lady Buckeyes last night when they were waiting for their seed in the tournament?
I was not, but I was glued to the TV. The selection show was on ESPN. It was at 8 o'clock. So I was glued to the tube to see what was going to happen with the Buckeyes.
So help us with this, because Columbus was picked as a regional, and you're going to be there the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Is that how it usually works? If you're a city like Columbus and Ohio State's in, they're going to put Ohio State in that region?
Well, actually, how it works for women's basketball, which is a little different than men's, is the top 16 teams will host first and second rounds. So we will host first and second rounds. Our first game is March 22nd, which is Friday at noon against Maine. And I think we kick off the tournament. I'm looking at the bracket here. It looks like that's the first game. And then the second game on the 22nd is Duke and Richmond. And then we will play the winner, which usually will be usually it's a Friday, Sunday. So usually we'll play on Sunday. Then, after the first and second rounds are over, the women's basketball landscape has changed a little bit. There's two regionals. One is in Albany, New York, and the other one is in Portland, Oregon, and that's the regional that we're in. So starting the Sweet 16, we'll have two regional sites for the women's tournament. Okay,
and hey, tell me about a little bit, because when the Lady Buckeyes get to the Sweet 16, I see UConn's a 3 seed. UConn used to be undefeated for years. Not a 3 seed isn't bad, but what happened to the UConn team where they've kind of now become human?
Yeah, UConn has had a lot of injuries. And if you remember last year, we beat UConn to go to the Elite Eight. So once again, this year, if we move through the first and second rounds, we will meet, and UConn moves through the first and second rounds, we'll meet them in the Sweet 16. So it's really interesting with the bracket this year as I'm looking. There's a lot of, I heard you mention earlier on the radio, some of the teams that went to the Final Four and the Elite Eight last year are all kind of in the same bracket. So you have Iowa and LSU. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then in our bracket, we have Ohio State, we have UConn, and we have Virginia Tech, we lost to them in the Elite Eight last year, and they went to the Final Four. So it's interesting what the brackets look like this year.
So many stories with the ladies' game these days. How important was the Caitlin Clark story all year long? I mean, she really brought a lot of new people to the table.
She did. She's a generational player.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen her play in person, she is phenomenal. This year, it's kind of interesting. She's so big that Holly Rowe of ESPN is going to follow her through the tournament on the first and second round. So she's going to have her own reporter following her around. But she's probably the biggest thing that women's basketball has had in a long time, and has brought a lot of eyes to the game, which is exciting for women's basketball.
Now, she will declare she's going to the WNBA. She's already announced, correct?
She is going to the WNBA draft. She's projected to be pick number 1, which will be the Indiana Fever. And her boyfriend actually works for the Pacers. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm sure it does. So she should be going to the Fever with the first pick.
Oh, so no tampering involved.
No tampering involved. And actually, Kelsey Mitchell, who used to play at Ohio State, plays at the Indiana Fever. So they will be teammates.
And the LSU South Carolina, I know it was a bit chippy. There was a brawl involved.
I like it, though.
But that brought more eyeballs to the television as well.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Heated.
The last couple minutes of the game, it was pretty heated. I think 6 people got ejected. So it'll be interesting. But, yeah, it's competitive. I'm not sure I totally agree with the fighting there. Torg, I know you said you like it. But
well, I just like the attention that more eyes are on the game.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right.
Yep. No, it definitely brings eyes to the game. But women's basketball is competitive, and they don't back down. So that was an interesting game, and that happened at the end of the game there.
Molly Haynes is with us, and she's the PA voice of the Lady Buckeyes. So tell me what you're like from now until game time. I mean, there's a lot of teams, a lot of names. I can't even pronounce my own last name. But so what are you doing now? Are you just going over the rosters and pronunciating all the names? Is that what you're doing for the next couple days?
Yeah, normally how I prep is since the game's on Friday, I'll probably take a look at everything on Thursday. But, yeah, I do a little bit of investigation, look at the website, get some pronunciations, and kind of see what, who's playing and who starts, and get a little bit familiar with that. So I'll start that prep work. But, it's only going to be 3 total games that will be
I was just going to ask. 3.
Columbus. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
3, and you'll do all 3, though?
Yep, I'll do all 3.
So professional, this guy.
Molly, what's your signature call, though? Like if someone hits a 3 or scores, you put a little oomph in the call. Do you have one, like a 3, or is it just the moment gets the oomph?
Yeah, I kind of I like to mix it up a little bit. I do like to say 4-3, like that. But I like to mix it up a little bit and get the crowd involved. So I kind of like to, mix it up during the game.
Yeah, there's a guy I met at a happy hour a couple weeks ago. His name is Tony. And, man, is he a Lady Buck fan. He doesn't follow the men. He's not a huge – he goes to all – I mean, he goes to the volleyball games. He goes to them all. I name dropped because, you're my only connection to the program. And I mentioned – and he said to me, he goes, Molly Haynes?
That's funny.
So that's
Tony.
fun.
Okay.
You're in a great position there. What a great career.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I started when Katie was a freshman, so that's, I don't know how many years ago.
Right.
Few, but been doing it, and have done 6 Final Fours, so that's all exciting too. So it's been fun. It's been a fun career for me, and I love doing the basketball.
Hey, throw your analyst hat on for us with this team. So they lose to Iowa, and there was some bad, let's be honest. You don't have to say it, but there were bad calls in that one. So, because I watched that game. I didn't like how it was officiated. But they lose to Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. Any worry that you're coming into the NCAA tournament kind of 2 straight losses?
No, I don't think so. I think the team is ready. I think the team's prepared. Sometimes a loss will make you relook at everything and kind of refocus and regroup. And I really think this is a really special group of ladies on this team. And Kevin McGuff, Coach of the Year in the Big Ten, he's done a really good job with them. So they're going to regroup and they're going to be ready. So I would not want to face the Buckeyes in the tournament. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be a great watch.
Yeah.
Man.
So Molly, if we're watching at home, because I'm going to watch, and let's say people are listening hasn't watched the team yet this year, and they're looking at who should they be watching when they watch the Lady Buckeyes if they're kind of a first time viewer of this team.
Well, every single one of our starters made either first or second the Big Ten team this year for the conference. But J.C. Sheldon from Dublin, Ohio, she's one of our guards, and she's great. She's an excellent player. So probably J.C. Sheldon, and then Cody McMahon, who got Freshman of the Year last year in the Big Ten. She's a sophomore this year. So those 2 are probably the top 2 players to watch. But the good thing about this team, on any given day, if somebody's having a bad game, somebody else is going to have a good game. So we can have all 5 starters score in double figures, and that's not unheard of for this team.
Are you going to be wearing your Torg Elliott shirt under whatever you're wearing?
I'll tell you what, Torg. I wore that shirt. I wore it the Iowa game when we beat them, and I wore it every single home game, and we did not lose. So I'm going to be wearing the Torg Elliott shirt under my Big Ten shirt there. You got that right.
Nice.
Hey, Molly Haynes, tell me a little bit about Big Ten Coach of the Year, Kevin McGuff. Where did he come from? How did Ohio State end up with Kevin?
Well, Kevin actually started his coaching career, I believe, in Xavier. So he's around this area, and then he went out to Washington, and then came here. So he's been around. I'm not sure exactly if he's from here, but his first coaching gig, I believe, was Xavier. So he's familiar with Ohio landscape. Yep, and his wife, I believe, was I don't know if she was a basketball player or a track athlete, but she's a very good athlete. I heard.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it noon. Right when we get off work, me and Jerry and Rich are going to the bar.
We're going to watch.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your support this year. I really appreciate it. And go Bucks.